Hey YouTubers, good morning, Rob Moffett. We've got a pretty good video this morning. We're going to be talking about things over the years that I purchased, I bought or made or found or whatever. Things that have really improved my life. Upgrades. Things that for a small amount of money save me a lot of time, save me money, or I got so much enjoyment out of them considering how much I spent. The return on investment was huge. So these are things that anybody could do, anybody could buy. I'm going to leave links to those that can be purchased, but that's not the reason why I'm making this video. I would really like, when you watch the video, if you think of things that you are really happy that you bought or you made or you purchased or you found or you made or you learned, things you did that have really made a big improvement in your life, in the time you spend or the money you have to spend, or just it gave you a lot of satisfaction considering the cost. So without any further ado, let's get started in no particular order. The first one is very controversial. Firearms. I didn't purchase a firearm until I was in my 60s. And when I did, after I got the first one, I realized how stupid I was for never purchasing one before. Everyone has their own opinions on this subject, and they're all valid. For me, I was very glad I purchased one, and I got a large sense of security and independence after I purchased mine. I've made several videos over the years about the firearms I've purchased, so I'm not going to go into them here, but that is one of the big items that I think had an impact on me that I wish I had purchased sooner, and I'm glad I did purchase. Number two would be, we spend a lot of time sleeping, 1/3 of our life at least. By purchasing a really good mattress instead of putting up with a lumpy, crappy mattress for years, not spending. I made a video on that. I'll leave a link to it. It was a big improvement. Getting a nice pillow. That guy for a while who has the company My Pillow, he used to be on the internet all the time. I don't see him anymore, but I purchased one of his pillows. It's not as good as he claims, but it is better than any other pillow I've had. So it's worth the price. Also a sleep mask, because it really helps block out the light, and we're finding out that's critical to sleep for health reasons. It's really good to block out all the light at night. And there's hundreds of different sleep masks you can get. I'll leave a link to one I bought. It's very helpful for getting rid of all the light in your bedroom. The next one is having a good video camera. Everybody nowadays has a video camera on their phone. I use, for my phone, an old $40 phone I got on eBay because it has a cracked screen. It's a Samsung A21. Apparently someone is moving a dump truck down the hallway. And the problem with that camera is that it doesn't have any stabilization. So if you want to make a decent video, you can't really use the inexpensive phones that don't have good stabilization. And I'm too cheap to spend hundreds of dollars on a really good phone. But what I did is I used a Osmo Pocket 2. Initially I purchased Osmo Pocket 1, and then I purchased a 2 for like $100 used or refurbished on eBay. And I always have it on me because you never know when you're going to have something worth recording. And I get a lot of enjoyment from making YouTube videos, and by always having that with me, I get a lot of enjoyment considering how little it costs. And it's a very robust camera. It looks kind of small and finicky, but it takes a beating. I've been very happy with it. My mini trampoline I purchased in 2018. I've been using it daily since then. I've made several videos. Some of them have become some of the more popular videos I've ever made on my YouTube channel, and I recommend it highly. It cost me, when I purchased it, was like $39 back in 2018. I've had to repair it. I had to sew up the elastic bands. They got tore after so many years. And it still works great. So it's wonderful for your health. It's what the trampoline is. It's a gateway drug. It allows you to establish the habit of doing exercise because anybody can bounce. I don't jump. I'm not a fool. I just do the health bounce. If the health bounce makes you healthy, that's what I'm in the game for. That's what I signed up for. I don't need to do these acrobatics. So I just bounce. And if you can just bounce, anybody can bounce. You can do it every day and make it into a habit. And once you've got that habit, then you can start adding other exercises on. And since then, I purchased the yoga mat to do floor exercises, the weights, the $10 box of resistance bands. So there's so many little inexpensive things you can purchase at home to do exercise. You don't even need to join a gym. It's good to have instruction and not hurt yourself with your exercises. That's critical. But you don't need to spend a lot of money. And just that inexpensive trampoline, it's right behind this camera right now against the wall. It takes up hardly any space at all. It's a wonderful, wonderful addition to my life. It's been very helpful and enjoyable. I love listening to music when I'm exercising or walking around, and over the years I've downloaded hundreds and hundreds of songs off of YouTube that are just amazing. I find so many different artists or genres I didn't even know about music on YouTube, and it's been a extremely enjoyable part of my life is expanding my knowledge of different types of music, different artists, and it's been a pleasure. And having just an inexpensive MP3 player, I know a lot of people use their phone, but I just use the MP3 player with the earphones, and it's inexpensive. I've done a couple video reviews of the Record Test MP3 player I purchased. It's very feature loaded. There's a lot of features on it, but over time, both of them I purchased, it stopped working. So now I just use an even more inexpensive one that's been working fine. But it doesn't do anything with play MP3s and the radio. That's it. But it's been a big, big pleasure of having music whenever I want. Sometimes you wake up, you can't get back to bed. It's good to be able to just zip through a few hundred songs, and get back to sleep. I love having houseplants and vegetables and things in my apartment on the balcony, but over the years, because I only get 2 hours of sun, nothing grows well. So I gave up, and then I would try again. I gave up, I try again. Right now, I purchased a $7 fern from Walmart, had them deliver it, and it came. And the last few months, it's been growing magnificently on the balcony because it's perfect for the balcony. There's only 2 hours of sun. The rest of the time it's shade. It loves the warm temperature, and it's growing huge. And it's something live, living, growing in the apartment. And when you walk in the front door, you can see it on the balcony, right? First thing you see, and it's a pleasure having it in the house. Something so inexpensive and easy to take care for. The bugs don't bother it. There's no pest or anything to worry about. So it's practically maintenance free, and it really is a big addition to the decor of the house, and it makes the house more of a home. I like to use timers. I don't have one with me, but there's like 3 of them on the refrigerator, and over the years I've just used them for so many different things, and they're very inexpensive. I like to get the ones from Taylor. They make laboratory instruments, and they're good quality. If you get the little cheap ones at the dollar store, they crap out on you within a year or two. So yeah, you can use them for so many different things. We get a lot of rain in South Florida. I walk every day. Sometimes I don't walk because it's raining. And the umbrellas I had in the past, the wind would just turn them inside out. So I did some research and I bit the bullet and I bought a very expensive umbrella, like 35 bucks. And it's from London. I think they know a thing or two about umbrellas. And I think it's one of the best umbrellas they make. And whenever it's really strong, windy, the wind doesn't bother it. It doesn't turn it into pieces. And the thing about that umbrella, it's extremely high quality. It's not a piece of crap from you know where that's going to fall apart. And it's so nice. All my life, I grew up poor. We always had to get the poorest thing, the cheapest thing. We go to the store, we get the cheapest thing. You buy a battery for your car, get the cheapest. Well, a cheap battery is not cheap. You got to, they're cheap shoes are not cheap. They wear out. You got to buy new ones so real quick. Sometimes it's good to buy the most expensive things, the most well built, the most best thing you can buy. And it's nice to have at least one thing in your house. That's the best there is. It feels good. It makes you feel rich. Some people have the best jet airplane in the world. Some people have the best watch and jewelry in the world, and I've got the best umbrella in the world. You got to have at least one thing that makes you feel like, you got the best there is. So it never hurts if you can afford it to buy better quality things, because if they last a long time, you get a better return on your investment. And it just feels good to have something that's not crap. I don't know if you can see it over there behind me. There's a rocking chair recliner, belonged to my mom. She would, when she couldn't sleep in the bed, she would sleep in that. And it was very comfortable. And you'd always see old people in rocking chairs. Now that I'm getting older, if I'm not feeling good, it feels good to be in a rocking chair, just moving back and forth. It's just that motion. It's pleasant. It's soothing. It's very relaxing. Plus, it's a recliner, so it opens up so you can relax really good. And for the amount of money those things cost, they're really worth it. So if you're a young person, this isn't going to interest you. But as you get older, it's nice to have a rocking chair. It makes you sound ancient, but sometimes your bones and your body will appreciate it, and they don't care what people say or think. But if you make them feel better, you gotta. If your body sometimes doesn't care what people think, it just wants to feel better. And rocking chairs and recliners, sometimes you can get a lot of return on investment from them. I've made a few videos about the Flowbee hair cutting device that you attach to your vacuum cleaner. I purchased one in 2010. It saved me thousands of dollars. Not counting all the time. It saved me from driving to a barber, waiting in the chair, having them cut my hair, then driving back. Of course, the amount of time they spent cutting would be the same time I spent cutting here in the house, but saved tons of time, tons of money, and it doesn't look that bad. I mean, it's okay, it's not perfect, but the Flowbee has been a perfect item to give a big return on money for time and money that it saves. Also, it's kind of cool to be independent and to have a skill that you can do yourself and not have to depend. Like when we had COVID and people didn't want to leave the house, I didn't have to go get my hair cut. I could do it at home. My legs, sometimes I have difficulty with them if I sit for too long, and I make a lot of videos, and if I'm sitting in a chair, even though I purchased a very good used chair from the thrift store, it's like a $900 steel case chair that I got for $25. But what I did is I purchased a hospital table that I can just put my monitor on and my keyboard and my computer's over at the desk with the wire connecting. So I can just sit in the bed with the pillows propped up and just use. And in fact, I don't use the keyboard anymore because it has a speech to text, so I just talk a lot instead of having to type. So it's been very handy because there was a couple times where I was practically bedridden. I couldn't do much. This is years ago, about 6 or 7 years ago. And after I purchased the table, it made a big change with the pillows to prop myself up. So it's not healthy to lay in bed. You even if you get up every half hour, laying in bed, it's debilitating. You need to even sitting in chairs. But if you're having to do something that you can't sit for a long time, a lot of people work from home, and after a while their legs give out from being uncomfortable from sitting. And having the table really helps that you can use in the bed. Next one is something I haven't used in a while, but it's my 3-man inflatable boat, my Intex 300, which has saved me thousands and thousands of dollars. The reason is whenever I think about purchasing a larger boat, more expensive boat, a boat that I need a trailer, then a car to pull the trailer, or a boat to keep in a marina, or something that I have to worry about sinking, or rusting or falling apart, the Intex 300, you deflate it and put it in a cardboard box and you put it under the bed, and you're done. You cannot use it in the same manner you would a regular large real boat. A real boat can go places you can never go in the inflatable. A real boat can go take other people and so many different things, but the inflatable costs $30. And I spent $40 for the oars because I wanted really good oars. 6-foot aluminum take apart. And I know how much pleasure I get from sitting in that little dinky pool toy in places where it's okay to go. It's not full of alligators or strong currents and so on. But if you're in a nice lake or a pond or a canal or a river, sitting in the bottom of that little comfortable boat with your back up against the end of the boat and just using the oars, and it weighs 5 pounds, so there's no strain or effort to row, and it's like magic, and it's so relaxing and enjoyable. If it wasn't for all the freaking alligators we got around here, I'd be out every week in that thing. What I'm getting at is I get more pleasure from a real boat, from a real sailboat. I love sailing to death. And you can't, although I'm working on it, you can't really sail that tiny little inflatable. So there's things you can do with a real boat you could never ever do with the inflatable. But the inflatable has things it can do the other boats can't. Like I said, first of all, it costs $30. Second of all, you can take it on your bike and go places with it and then launch it. You can carry it on your back and launch it. You can take it on a bus and go someplace and launch. You don't have anything that is possible. There's nothing else on the planet that is more simple, easier, less fuss or tension or problems than a cheap inflatable boat that you can just get in it. It's difficult to get out. I'm still working on different ways to get out easy. That's the hard part. And once you get in it, your butt sinks down, so you're really pretty stable. They're a joy. They are a joy. There's many things you can't do with them, and people who have real boats will laugh at you and say things, but do I care? So yeah, for $29, you can be a captain and have a boat you can put in your closet or under your bed until you want to use it. And get real good oars and don't go places you shouldn't be going with them. But it is a pleasure. It's a pleasure. My sister a few years ago purchased an Alexa. It's on right now, so I got to be careful what I say. And the great thing about it is you can ask it to play different genres or types of music, or from a certain time period, like play music from 1973 or 1962, and play songs from that time period, or say play minimalist composers, and they'll have a playlist or a channel that someone made that there's just songs and tunes that are of that genre that you like to hear. So you can just experiment, say things to it, like Alexa, play songs that dogs like.
The station, Classical for Pets, on Amazon Music.
Alexa, stop music. So there you go. There you go. You know, who knew there were classical songs for dogs, so or pets. So you can get a lot of fun from. That's all I use it for. They're not making any money off me, and I try to unplug it when people come over, so they don't spy on our conversations when we talk about Kaiser Wilhelm. So yeah, Alexa has been. It's been a pleasure listening to. Try the meditation channel when you're doing your exercises or whatever, or you're trying to relax in the evening. It's very good playlist of songs that good for a certain mood to relax. Excellent. And Alexa is a good deal. Over the years, I've been experimenting trying to find different walking shoes because I walk a lot. And right now, I stopped buying the really cheap ones, so I'm at the intermediate stage. I'm using the Sketcher shoes. I like to slip on loafer type style, so that way you can use them. They don't look like athletic shoes. So if you have like some casual slacks on and a nice shirt, you can wear them out and you don't look like a fool. You don't want to wear running track shoes with your going somewhere, you know, you're going to eat out or something. I don't eat out anymore, but you know what I'm saying. You have flexibility with those shoes, and at the same time they're very comfortable to do like walking. So having good shoes for walking has been very helpful because I enjoy walking, and I was, by using the really bad cheap shoes, it wasn't good for my feet and it was causing problems. These are Zenni eyeglasses. I used to get, because I'm a cheap booger, I used to get the dollar store, Dollar Tree eyeglasses, and 1 out of 3 of them would work, but the other 3 would give me a headache. And I finally went to an eye doctor, which was good because he found problems that we had to address. So everybody should have eye vision there checked so often. Go to an eye doctor because those are things that happen to you silently until it's too late. So you don't want to wait too long to not see an eye doctor, have your eyes checked. But yeah, anyway, I got the prescription, so I just started getting the eye. These are the $6.95 glasses from Zenni. And yeah, they've been a big help and improvement over getting the dollar store glasses. Speaking of doctors, I would say that is something else that is a good upgrade, is to periodically have health checks. If your primary doctor, make sure you have good checkups at least once a year. Go to the dermatologist, your dentist. Get things done early and cut things off at the pass so you don't have things go south on you that could have been fixed. You don't want a doctor that's going to run 100 tests on you for stuff that some doctors, they're there to help you with your health, and some doctors are there to pay for their house in Bermuda. You need to find out which are which and choose accordingly. But I can understand why people don't go to doctors, but you should definitely have some checkups for different things as you get older, and so many people don't. And I know a lot of people that waited too long. But there's also a lot of people that had unnecessary tests that led to unnecessary procedures that we know the drill. So it's tough out there. It's rough out there. You know, these medical adventures, as you get older, they keep coming. And I still think getting clean bill of health, looking at your numbers, and working to get them in line and check and be in a good place with your health is very important. There's nothing more important than your physical and mental health, and having regular checkups, I think, is a smart thing to do. If you see behind me over to the side is my ANCHEER Gladiator e-bike. I've made several videos about it. It's one of the most enjoyable things I've purchased in the last few years. The e-bikes are dangerous. There's precautions you need to take, and they're not as dangerous as motorcycles, but they're more dangerous than cars. But they're a lot of fun, and it's an adventure every time you take them out. It's the one I have is very reliable. One of my viewers, Glenn Wilson, he has purchased one several years ago that he commutes every day to work, and he's put over 8,000 miles on his. I use it pretty much just for about everything. I go to the doctor, I go to some of the stores. I use it at least once a week. I use it on Thursdays for the trash day when I do my beach combing on the weekly bulk trash treasure hunts. So it's a thrill to use. I'm working on a little checklist to help me be more safe when I do use it, because I'm older and I can't really take a good hit. I'm not 21, so you could end up getting an injury that could be debilitating. So I'm trying to come up with things I can do each time I ride to try to be safer. And I think I've got a pretty good checklist. I'll share it with you in a couple weeks when I finish it and see what you think. But yeah, I haven't used a car since Thanksgiving 2 years ago. I used the bus, Uber, or my e-bike, or have it delivered. So it's been a very inexpensive form of transportation, and because it's 50 pounds, I can take it on the rack of the bus. It's not over the weight limit if I had to. So it's a blast. It's very enjoyable, and like I said, each time I use it, it's like a little vacation adventure. It's fun. So fun is a key word. As you get older, there's less things that are fun. Yeah, it's fun riding the e-bike. The last thing that's changed my life is cans of strawberries. What was that movie with Humphrey Bogart on that ship and the strawberries? I purchased cans of strawberries from the LDS, the Mormons. I've made some videos about them in the past where I purchased cans of beans and rice and macaroni and wheat and all sorts of things, powdered milk. It's good for 30 years. And those are all good, and I use them all, and most of them. But they recently started selling cans of strawberries. I love strawberries, and whenever I buy strawberries, I usually end up having to throw out some because they get bad, and it doesn't make me feel good. So now I have these cans of dried strawberries, good for 30 years. And if you would look behind this camera against that wall next to the closet are 4 cases with 6 cans each. Number 10 cans full of strawberries. They're good for 30 years. So I don't think, well, as much as I use them, I think I will outlast them. Knock on wood. So those are some of the things I've purchased, bought, used, learned over the years that made big improvements in the quality of my life, the amount of time I saved, or the money I spent. I would like for you to leave in the comment section things that you have purchased, built, found, saved, discovered, learned about, that has made an improvement in your life that you think is worth sharing in the comment section, and we can all learn from it. So guys, go get some strawberries and and a couple 22s, and you'll be okay. And it'll Intex 300 inflatable. All right, guys. See you out there.